All right. They say we're live now. Welcome to Wood Turn Around. I'm Doug. It's good to have you with me today. I wasn't expecting too many folks in. I just kind of decided Sunday, let's go ahead and do something. My wife is working. There's nobody else here. Yes, I have some honey-do list things to do, but we're going to turn. I said last time that we would do some hollow forms in some different ways. And so today we're going to do what I've heard a few people call a faux hollow form. You'll understand more of that here in just a minute. Um, while we're getting started, just let me open that up and show you. I've got a couple of friends with me. Got Wayne the Woodturner from England,
Good evening. Good evening.
Scotland,
Scotland.
Ireland, Great Britain, somewhere over there. Anywhere but Wales, right? And then we've got Todd from Texas, and I'm glad to have these guys with me. I had Ruby here for a few minutes a while ago. Ruby is under the weather, so send up your good thoughts and prayers for Ruby as she fights off this bug that she's got. Regardless of what it is, it's a bug, and she just didn't feel good. We I was flabbergasted, honestly, when she popped up a while ago, and we talked for a little while. And here, just a couple of minutes ago, she said, "I think I'm going to have to go." So we're going to think the best for Ruby. So I'm going to pop these guys back in the background, and
Good
let's
idea.
get going. I've got there we go. I've got a piece of wood on here. This is some of that mystery wood I think I told you a month or two ago that I picked up at a state park. Um, don't know what it is. It was just a piece that was laying up against a fire pile. I saw it, stopped. I told my wife, says, "What in the world are you going to do?" I said, "Well, we get that big piece of wood right there." So I went and got it, threw it in the truck, or excuse me, truck, threw it in the back of her Toyota RAV4 that we were driving that day, brought it home. It sat out for a little while, and I finally cut it up, got it all ready. I've got what? One, two, three, four. I've probably got six, seven, eight more blanks of this stuff um, that to use up. It's a little bit punky in the end grain. We'll stabilize that here as we go along, and I'm going to get started turning this around and let Wayne or Todd one read off who all's in the chat with us today.
Okay, here we go. First in the chat was Ruby. Obviously, Doug has already said that she's had to leave. And then we've got Mike from Dancers. And I just want to say thank you to Mike for the Tensegrity goblet that he sent me. Very much appreciated. And Mike's also said that we've got a bit of a storm here. And he's just realised there's already fireworks banging away. Yeah, we have the storm as well. No rain. We've got very high winds at the moment. In fact, quite a lot of the New Year's Eve celebrations and outdoor activities have actually been cancelled tonight in the UK.
Hmm.
Zed's in. Evening, Zed.
Is it?
And Mike has said he's excited for Thursday when he can order his rotary drawing board as a late Christmas present. Oh, very nice. Ronald Todd's here. Malcolm Douglas. Hang on, chat just jumped.
Did we lose Wayne?
No, I'm still here.
Okay. Yeah, I see MB Wood Turning, but I'm not familiar with who that is. MB Wood Turning, what's your name?
Yep. I just had to go back in the chat because it jumped. That's where it was, Todd.
Amazing
Okay.
how that happens.
Yeah.
Malcolm Douglas. Chris Nealon's in. Val's in. Hey then, Val. And Deal's in as well. Old Man River. Haley's here. Wavy hands. Roger Kent. Adam Gothard. Al's in. Evening, Al. Oh, good afternoon, Al. Michael McEwen. I'm still going down the chat. Norman Greenwell. It just jumped again.
Did we miss Lucy?
Lucy, yeah, Lucy just underneath Norman. So, good evening, Lucy. and Andy if he's coming in. And Zed said, starting tomorrow, I only watch movies in 4K. That's his New Year's resolution.
Are we starting to get 6K and 8K stuff now available
I've
to
got,
Oh
view?
my goodness.
I have got no idea, Todd, to tell you the truth. Zed said, hey, Wayne, what do you call sunblock in Scotland? A pub. Right. Lucy said, oh, where's she gone? Lucy said,
Oh my.
just saying a quick hello and goodbye as we have friends for dinner tonight. And it's just about ready. Hope everybody has good New Year's Eve and wish you all a happy and healthy 2005. Back at you, Lucy.
Have a happy New Year, Lucy.
And Roger Wallam's in and Todd at Glen Cove is in.
All right, to the point. We need to
Still
do a
going
little
down.
stabilization.
Woofy Woodshed's in. That's Andrew. Frederick D is in. And that's me down at the. Oh, Thomas Kenny's just come in as well.
Hey, Thomas. Good to
Rex,
have all you guys.
did we get Rex B?
Oh no, I
Rex.
missed Rex. Hi,
Yeah.
Rex.
Hey, Rex.
Rex is down in Florida, isn't he?
Yes, yes.
It's a pretty significant list of people today. I'm surprised.
I am
Yeah.
too.
Well, I'm quite surprised with the amount of people from the UK that are in. I thought there would have been either out and about or at people's places getting drinks and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mark said he and Kim had plans tonight, so he wasn't going to
Yeah,
be in.
Mark and Kim are going out.
Like I said, I didn't expect hardly anybody in tonight, so I'm tickled. Good to have everybody in tonight. Just put a little CA on that end grain on both sides. Just a
Now
quick spray of accelerator. Give it just a minute.
Zed has said he's doing the first run at the Christmas Pistachio, which premieres later on tonight, and he's put the link there.
All right. I do have to make that tenon a little smaller. It's a little big at the moment, but we'll get there. Just letting that glue cure up just
Yeah,
a
that
little
stuff will
bit.
be splattering out of there when you turn the lathe on.
Oh yeah, yeah. If it doesn't cure first, it's amazing. I did another piece a while ago that did the same thing, same wood, and yeah, the CA makes a huge difference in there. That's the pith, that dark spot
Yep, see that?
on both sides. But we'll take it down just below that, just to get rid of it, just because.
Yeah, Mike from Dancers said he got an invite to go out, but no way he's going out in the weather that we've got at the moment.
Yeah, we're I'm. It's drizzly here, kind of foggy, drizzly, overcast day. It's kind of like your all's normal days there in Scotland, Wayne.
Yeah, I mean, we have got really high winds at the moment. I mean, the big Hogmanay, as we call New Year's Eve in Scotland, the big outdoor party that happens in Edinburgh has been cancelled, and that's around about 50,000 people who are disappointed with that.
I bet.
And Rex Spears said he received a device using the golden ratio, a bit like a compass. How do you use it? And is it only for particular items like vases or giant bowls? You
If I
can
could find
use
mine,
it.
I'll show you.
Yeah, you can use it on vases because it puts it into the obviously the golden ratio where you get 1.61 at the bottom of the vase and 1 at the top, or you can use it the other way around. You can use it on bowls for gauging the the width of a rim compared to the open bowl of the rim.
Yeah, Martin Saban Smith has some stuff out there on using that and dividing by 1.61. And if the size you get when you divide by 1.61 is not good, divide that by 1.61 and put the golden ratio into the golden ratio, and do a lot of neat things with deciding the height of a foot or the width of a foot, or like you said, the width of a rim, or on a closed form, the widest point of a bowl or something. It's really useful.
We've had several major discussions about it on Worldwide Woodturners from time to time, and um, I've got one of those, and I wish I could find it for you real quick. I could show you on this piece. Um, we used to talk a lot about the rule of thirds, and that typically works, but that's a rough rule.
It's the rule of thirds is more of a I think more of an artist type thing,
Yeah.
using the rule of thirds. The golden ratio is like I say, it's 1.61 to 1, or 1 to 1.61. So it's more like it's not 2 to 1, which is thirds. It's more like 1.5 to 1.
Yeah, it's just the whole purpose is to make your form more pleasing to the eye. The, uh, what's the guy's name? Fabriacci or something of that nature.
Fibonacci.
Yeah, he was able
Fibonacci.
to he was able to figure it all out mathematically, and
Yeah,
that's what those gauges are.
basically the Fibonacci sequence starts off. I'll not go all the way through it because it's too long, but it starts off 1 1, 1 2, 2 3, and what you
3
do
5.
is 3 5, and then 5 8. 13's the next one, 21's the next one. But what you do is you add the previous two numbers to make the next number.
Yeah, it's basically the French curve, isn't it, Wayne?
Yeah, I think basically it is. Zed has said, if you are there for the countdown tonight, be sure to raise your left foot off the ground. That way you can start the year off on the right foot. Funnily enough, Zed, Ruby said that before she left.
Absolutely, she did.
Oh, Chris is in from Billy Woodworks.
Hey, Bailey. All right. To the point now where we can take this off. I need to get some measurements put on here, but we'll get it in the chuck to do that. Like I said, this is just another way of doing a hollow form. Not everybody's got hollowing tools, and I understand that. I did not have any for a long, long time, and was finally asked to do some hollow form work, which mandated that I have some. And my first ones I made. See if I can get this where you can Got to change cameras. Let's go.
The other thing as well is that if you're not too confident using hollowing tools, this is a good way to do a hollow form with a very small opening in the top.
Absolutely. Can you see how big that tool is?
Yeah, I can see that, or we can see that, I should say.
That's one I made, and it has a 45 cut right there. So my bit came out at a 45-degree angle. I've got another one that comes out straight. So those were the first hollowing tools that I had. The lady wanted me to make what was it, a wine bottle koozie or something of that nature. And I didn't have anything to hollow that deep. I had needed to go 8 inches. fact, I didn't have anything to hollow with at all. So anyway, I made those tools, got the job done. I've used them several times since, but not much. I do have,
And Rob's just come in, Copper Owl.
hey, Copper. I do have
And
the,
Frederick has said he might be trying some lives next year. He's got most of the equipment now. Not the
okay,
best, but good to start with. Yeah, that's the way to go, Fred.
absolutely. All right, we're in there. I'm just going to face that off, and then we'll get some measurements put on this.
And if you want an earworm for when you're doing lives, give me a shout.
Give several of us a shout. We not only do lives, we like to earworm and help other folks out as well.
Okay. Back to the old subject. Rex is asking, when is Master Wayne doing his first live turn in the new year so he can tune in? He's been absent due to medical stuff and want to start the new year right. The only answer I can give to that is that you will find out when I get it posted up.
Good answer. Good answer.
At the
Going
moment,
ahead.
I'm full of good intentions, which never seem to come to an end.
I'm just working this down below that pith area so that I don't have that issue to worry about. Just what looks like one more little pass.
Right. Mike said that he's got a tip. If you collect some of those nice nitrous oxide bottles that the kids sniff and discard, cut the top off and it makes a good insert for a vase or paintbrush pot.
Ah.
That means I'll have to go out and walk around parks looking for these things that they've dropped on the ground. And at my age, walking around parks, looking the way I do, I might get picked up from the police.
Okay, it's going to give me just a little. Let's see, I'm turning a tenon on that edge, so I need to come up just a hair short. Let's change.
Right, now, Frederick has said that somebody asked Frederick what his channel name is, and he has answered, it was Todd who asked, and he's answered, it'll be called the Walderslade Wood Turner, but it's not actually live yet.
The walnut lathe, is that what you said?
No, Walderslade.
Walters, okay.
Walderslade Wood Turner, but like I said, it's not live yet.
Tell you what, for me, just getting the channel ready to go was almost the hardest part. And that may be just me, but that was my experience. Ha! Ha! Better to be lucky than good, right?
Hey,
that's a great fit.
Doug, like I've always said, the more you practice, the luckier you get.
It seems to be that way, isn't it? I do need to clean that up just a bit.
And that was your first try.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Don't clean it up too much.
Yeah.
No. Right here in the corner, it was fuzzy. That's all I'm taking off. All right. That did take some of the tension out of it, but that's okay. So what I want to do, let's turn that around, bring it up to there. All this will make a lot more sense as we get along here. You've seen, I've kind of let the cat out of the bag, but basically what we're doing is turning two bowls that will fit together with an opening in one end.
Camera, Doug.
Up. I think we can handle that. Dun, dun, dun.
The Vineyard Farmhouse has just come in.
Hey, Brian.
And Frederick has said it takes a lot of time to set up a live, I think. It's a steep learning curve. The thing to do, Fred, is to actually set up the live in StreamYard because it'll give you okay, you set up your YouTube channel and then you set up the live in StreamYard and it'll give you the option of where you want to actually post it.
And StreamYard makes it pretty simple. The interface is just pretty easy.
It is, and you don't have to go through. Really, you don't have to go through OBS or anything like that. You can. It's a bit of a faff, but you can actually change the cameras within StreamYard anyway.
Yeah, the only reason for ABS or ABS, OBS is the ease of changing cameras and letting multiple folks come in with you. Um, StreamYard lets us have what, 6 people come in?
Yeah,
Or 5?
unless you pay for it, then I think you can get 10. But
Yeah.
just for the basic StreamYard, if you're going to pay, it's about what $250 a year, something like that.
I would think for most people starting out, there's just no good reason to pay for StreamYard up front.
Nah.
Unless you want to get rid of the little icon that's in the top right.
Yeah, but I mean, I actually, because I really have considered not doing any more lives or anything when I was going through a really bad patch earlier on this year, and I cancelled my StreamYard. It saved me a lot of money, and okay, but you'll have the duck up in the right-hand corner, but I'm not bothered with that.
Right. I'm not. Obviously, I don't pay for it. But I was also advised not to, for at least for the first couple of years, not to pay for it. Get to understand it. Do I need it? Do I want it? Do I need more features? Right now, I don't feel like I need more features.
Yeah, now, old man Dale has said, sorry, I've not found an editor that's easy enough for me to be able to edit my videos. So all my videos are on YouTube are in real time. I use, and quite a lot of people I know use Filmora Wondershare.
Um, Dale, oh no, that's why my tenon frazzled out. I'm gonna make a new tenon. It's easy enough to do. Dale, if I remember right, you're using your iPhone to make your videos. Um, I use when I do video, I use my iPhone as well, and use iMovie, and it works very well. There is a learning curve, and probably the best way to do it would be to get. Excuse me, just a second here. I knew that didn't sound right. Whole half of that broke
Wow.
out. It just let go. Oh, let's
Oh,
see.
whoops.
Yeah, whoops. Yeah, that looks like ring shank right there. Right, right there. It's just as smooth as it can be.
Frederick, the video editor was Filmora Wondershare. Yeah, Filmora.
Okay, while I'm doing this, yeah, Filmora is a really good program, really good editor. I started to say I'm using just trying to find another piece of wood real quick. Using iMovie. So between doing the video with the iPhone and using the Apple product, they work together extremely well. Um, but get with somebody who can walk you through it and
Oh,
take their
Terry's
time.
just come in. Good evening, Terry. Sorry to
Terry,
interrupt there, Doug.
Which Terry?
Terry Bray.
Oh, okay. Hey,
Heckington
Terry.
Arts.
Hello, Heckington Arts. Mr. Bray. Ruth's other half. Oh, good to have you along. All right, we're just going to redo this. Try to do it quickly.
And Jennifer's just come in as well. Good evening, Jennifer.
Hey, Jennifer. Babe's with you today, or is he working? All right. That's something else. When you're doing lives, you have to understand things happen, and you just kind of bounce with it and just keep trucking. The way that piece released itself, there's not much else I can do with it. It was fairly thin to begin with, so we'll just get another piece going. It won't take too
Yeah.
long.
I'm just wondering if if Jennifer's going out on the randan tonight and drinking Baileys all night.
I've heard that happens from time to time.
Yeah, I've heard that happens from time to time as well.
I really should have turned the speed down when I started this new piece. It sounds like a prop going on right now.
Right, Rex has said, watching you on a 32-inch screen and the detail is awesome. And by the way, your arms look more chunky. Don't know if that's a compliment or not, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Back that off just a hair. Tighten everything up. I am going to turn it down a little bit. I was running at almost 1700. Move it down to 1300. Feels better.
I'm not bad, Jennifer. How are you? And I wouldn't think that Mark's going to be working tonight. It's New Year's Eve. It's a bank holiday tomorrow, so and he usually works a night shift. So Andy the Valley Woodturner has just popped in to wish everybody a happy and prosperous new year.
Hey, Andy.
And may 2005 bring everyone everything they desire. And the Vineyard Farmhouse is reminding everybody to hit the like button.
Thank you, Brian.
No, Jennifer said that Mark isn't working. I didn't think you could be tonight, to tell you the truth.
All right. All right. It's always good to have a day off. I was going to say too, Vineyard Farmhouse is Brian. He has a channel, homesteading type of channel. Does a live, just kind of a random chat time on Wednesday nights, 10 o'clock my time. So it'd be rather late for you folks in Great Britain.
Yes. Yeah.
What, 3 a.m., I guess?
Yeah, probably something like that. Yeah. Zed said, the other day I saw a cow jump over a barbed wire fence. It was utter destruction.
Yes, sir.
See, now this is another good thing about living in Scotland, because in the rest of the UK, what happens is that the 1st of January is a bank holiday. Then basically everybody goes back to doing stuff on the 2nd. In Scotland, we have the 1st and the 2nd as bank holidays.
Okay.
Mainly because everybody's drunk on the 1st, so they can't go back to work.
It's right.
So they have the 2nd to recover. But usually everybody goes out and gets drunk again.
the second around here, you never know what you're going to get. There will be people who went to bed early the morning of the first and spent their day watching football games and
Yeah,
those kinds of things. Um, then there are those people, like you said, they start on New Year's Eve and they don't finish until maybe the second.
yeah. You just mentioned his name. Vineyard Farmhouse. Is that Brian?
Brian, yes,
Yeah. So Brian has said yes, but you had mentioned him earlier on. But a lot of makers projects are going to be done on his channel, and he's trying
yeah,
to get makers involved in his channel and the lives. And
sure,
he's also just thank you for the shout out as well.
absolutely. You're so welcome. Brian had me on, or gave me a link so I could go on and talked a little bit about turning and all the shenanigans that we have in this community, and we had a good time. It was an hour, just an hour long, and that hour went by rather quickly.
Good.
I'll spray just a little
Todd has
accelerator on
said
there.
my family said I had a drinking problem and need to get help, so he went out and hired a bartender.
Okay, all right, yeah, yeah.
Drink problem? Drink problem? I drink. I fall over. Where's the problem?
There you go.
I used to have a drinking problem. I make more money now, so it's not as big a problem.
There you go. I had a fraternity brother. He said he quit drinking. It was the day they invented the funnel.
Brian just said yes, and you're always welcome to come back on again. He will be live tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern.
I just put all that CA on there, and I'll probably just cut every bit of it off. Not every bit of it, but most of it. Okay.
Frederick has said that January the 1st became a bank holiday in 1974 due to massive absenteeism.
I can imagine.
And Zed has said, I don't know if I need a frontal lobotomy or a bottle in front of me. Oh, God, that's a really old one, that is.
That joke book hadn't been updated, has it?
Mike has said, did you know that the film Airplane is an almost frame-to-frame remake of a 1940s film? I picked the wrong day to give up drinking.
Oh,
Right, Rex is asking a serious question. He's got a log piece of flame box elder. Oh, very nice. He said it's 12 inches diameter, 15 inches long. What is the best way to preserve it and keep it from rotting or cracking? Let's see, 12 inches diameter, 15 inches long. I would probably split it down the middle. Well, not down the middle, either side of the pith, and seal the ends.
yes. Um, if you can, I would also suggest going ahead and rough turning it. That way you can get the pith, not only get the pith out of it, but open that up so that it is able to dry faster and better, more complete. Um, Weigh it. If you rough turn it, weigh it, seal it, put it away. Come back in a month, weigh it again, record it, put it away. You're going to go through that process till till it quits getting lighter.
Now, Rob has said that we have a second new year here. It's called Super Bowl Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he's also said, well, sorry, Todd, go on.
I was going to say that the Super Bowl Sunday has really become the bigger party of the two.
Yeah, I
For
can
many,
imagine.
many
I
months.
can imagine it is.
Okay, we are all the way into Chuck, but
Rob's also said drunk people are drunk both and the day after. Yeah, I didn't tell you the truth. I didn't realize I was a drunk until I woke up sober one morning.
And the first is a holiday in the U.S.
absolutely.
So sometimes if you're lucky and the first is on a Thursday or something, and you work for a good company, maybe they'll add in a holiday for that Friday or something.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
it seems like it used to happen more than it does now, though. But
Yes.
a lot of people will take that day because not a lot gets done on it, and so they go to work. They'll take that work day, and then
Right.
they'll take the day off after the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl Monday is becoming a pretty big day off here in the U.S.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it really. In fact, Super Bowl Monday shouldn't be called Super Bowl Monday. It should be called Tailgate Day.
The tailgate hadn't ended.
In fact, that's right. Oh, Super Bowl's on a Sunday, isn't it? Not a
Yes.
Monday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always. Yes.
Yeah. So that Monday after it, that's just nobody works in anymore. Chris says it's a pleasant surprise. This piece of wood I checked up for practice turns out to be a beautiful hunk of ingrained cherry.
Oh, nice.
Ah, very nice. All right, we're almost back to where we were.
Chris and his wife Mary are one of the reasons I look forward to going to SWAT. They show up there and great people.
Excellent. Now, Rob has said that where he works, and I'm assuming this is after Super Bowl, they get Tuesday and Wednesday off, but only get paid for Wednesday though.
All right, kind of like with a box, just kind of sneaking up on it. It can be a little loose because it's going to get glued. That looks pretty good, except it's too long.
Oh,
That's easy enough to
sorry.
fix.
Rob from Copper Owl was talking about New Year. Right, Brian has said he's got to go out to the apple orchard and see what kind of wood is available. I would think it's apple. Anybody work with apple wood, and what do you think about it? It's a very nice wood to work with. It really
Absolutely.
is. It's very pleasant to cut. It takes a good finish.
Turn some green apple anytime you're doing a live demonstration in front of people. Green apple will it'll send streamers as far as you can send them. It's crazy the way they stream out.
I've seen some pretty awesome pen blades made with apple wood.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's surprising to people that don't turn, but when I see a piece of wood, the uglier it is, the prettier it's going to be when it's turned.
Quite often.
Yeah.
That was one reason I picked up this log, is because it was pretty nasty look. It looked like it had been sitting out in the weather for who knows how long, and so I was excited to get it.
Jennifer has said that Mark said good evening, everyone.
Hello,
and Happy
Mark.
New Year to you all. Frederick Deer said Axminster Sittingbourne was very busy today. Good to see. And he spent money again.
Spent money at
And
Axminster?
Brian has said, lol, I noticed how I wrote that after I sent it. Of course, there's apple in an apple orchard.
All right, I'm just going to smear that around just a little bit. That was some wood glue. Then I'm going to take some CA and put it actually in the recess.
Rob said it is a tight grain wood. I would think it's sort of medium. I would say, Rob. Apple, I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a medium. Even, I mean, I said it sends long streamers when it's wet. When it's dry, it will still send streamers. It's just a great wood to work with. I'm gonna line this grain up as close as I can. I'm not worried about it being too exact, but close would be great.
Yeah, Rob's also said that apple is his favourite. Then, of course, black walnut, and now English walnut is a very high third.
Here in this area of the country, black walnut is considered a weed, a noxious weed. And so people are trying to get rid of it as much as possible. And when it's cut, it's sought after. I can't ever find it because it's grabbed up so quickly.
Yeah, and Brian's asking, do most apple woods have a dark and light marbled colouring? I've seen it a couple of times, but is it typical? It can be, yes.
Yeah. Usually, I would think it would depend on how old the tree is, and how long it has sat around. Okay, I'm going to give that just a minute. I was going to try to start turning it, but I'm going to give it just a minute.
Rob has said if he could get you, that would be on my favourite list too. Basically, there's two species of yew, really. There's European yew, and there is Pacific yew, which basically it comes from the northwest of the United States, and I don't think it's quite as coloured as the European yew.
I had somebody over the weekend talking about in the eastern United States a purplish wood that they call yew in that area. And
All
I
right.
cannot figure out what it might be. It's not cedar. Well, what we call cedar, the red cedar, which is really a juniper, they said that's not it. So I can't imagine what it might be.
Let's see what else is happening here. Todd said you would think things would be obvious, but sometimes we park on the driveway and drive on the parkway. Zed has said that pistachio is pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
And Lucy said dinner is consumed, apart from Keziah's godfather, who is having seconds.
There you go. All right, we're just taking this. There we go. This is making an awful racket because it's still a little movement between the top and the bottom, and I did not make sure my headstock and tailstock were exact. There we go.
Chris
All right.
Walters is here.
Hey, Chris. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and do a little sanding it up.
Excuse me if I'm not joining in. I'm busy answering messages.
You're fine. You're fine.
So earlier I was trying to turn the volume up on my headset using my keyboard and it wasn't working. At which point I realized my little keyboard didn't have any battery left, so I can't type
Oh,
Oh,
my.
goodness.
until I fix my battery issue, my charging.
Yeah. Okay.
Mike is asking, does hemlock wood have anything to do with hemlock poison? I'm not actually certain on that, Mike, to tell you the truth. The best thing to do is go into the wood database and look up hemlock.
Mm-hmm.
Doug, I'm surprised that came off of there. It seemed like
I am too.
even that tight bond you put in there would have been holding by now.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the issue is, but I'm going to use some medium CA and go around here. It'll be on there now. I say I am if I can get the lid off of it. There we go. This medium CA is just about gone. So we'll just use it up and be done with it. And now that I think about it, Todd, part of it may be because my headstock and tailstock are not quite aligned, and so it was moving back and forth. There we go. Bring my tailstock up for just a moment, just to hold it. I've got some bad spots there. That is better though. That's better than what it was. Turn that vacuum back off. And we'll do some, or I'll do later. I'll do some beading there to kind of disguise it. And do a little filling in as well. We'll do some dust and tight bond. But you get the idea. Use better wood too. That helps. You know, lots of folks say, life is too short to use crummy wood. But sometimes, like Todd said earlier, sometimes your crummy wood can be some of the prettiest.
Oh, definitely.
So I like to try it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it fails.
Enchanted Wood Designs have just come in.
All right, that's Kevin. Now, folks, I am not that good on remembering names. It just, I'll have to work at it, and sometimes it still takes me forever. I had to ask Kevin 3 or 4 times what his name was.
Lucy saying it's very noisy in her house tonight with 4 overexcited kids.
Lucy, you letting your kids stay up tonight?
I was just about to ask that, Doug.
Okay. I jumped the gun, didn't I? All right, that's a lot better than what it was. It's not perfect, but it's better. Oh, trying to loosen a tailstock that was already loose, or was all the way retrieved. It wasn't extended any. It's still not set. Still not set. Come on, Todd. What are you doing wrong?
Wow.
You got any thick CA?
No, I don't. The medium's the best I've got right now. I'm going
Okay.
to put that in there. I'm going to hit it with some accelerator, and then we can
That's
go
all.
on to the top.
Right. If you get the grain lined up, if you put the medium CA on one part and then spray the accelerator on the other part and then put them together.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping in mind you have about 1/10 of a second to
Yes.
fix that orientation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Exactly.
And just an FYI, that's when I tend to glue my fingers to the piece also.
I understand. Not that I've ever done it more than 30 or 40 times. All right. So for a nondescript found wood, this is literally fogwood, found on ground. I still have no clue what kind of wood it is, but as you can see, it's got some decent color in it, but it's mostly in the bad spots.
Yeah.
But
It's a
there's
really nice pattern in there as well.
some nice spalting right there.
Yeah.
Um, and so you take your chances with bad wood. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it just doesn't. This one's not going to work out, but it makes a good firewood. And you folks get to see the principle. That same will work out just fine, I think, now that it's got some real glue in it. In fact, I'm going to put some thin in there as well. This thin is the Parfex 3408. It'll if there's any gap whatsoever, it will wick down into it. Super thin glue. There we go. Hit it with a little accelerator. And 3408 is interesting. It's a very pure form of CA glue, and it takes it a little while longer to set up on its own. Even with the accelerator, it takes just a little bit longer. This is already there. So speed down, 600.
Stand out of the way just in case it's still wet in some parts.
Exactly. I'm just hitting that seam a little bit with some 80 grit. Actually, I hit it all on this
Now,
outside.
Enchanted Wood Designs has said a tricky way to do the two halves is not to do the lip and mortise, but to have two flat surfaces. You may get better grain lines, but the inside and outside thickness is a brave to thin question. Now,
Sure.
we've got a wood turner over here in the UK. Oh God, I just thought of his name earlier on. It's gone again.
I'm not sure who you're thinking of.
Anyway, I did a live probably a couple of years ago, which was two thin turn bowls set one on top of each other, and on the bottom bowl that was painted on the inside with a variety of colours, and then the top bowl, once it was attached, was actually pierced. Mick Hanbury, that's his name.
Okay.
Mick Hanbury is a professional wood turner, and he does a lot of these types of things. But you do have to have a good flat surface on the top. And I've got to say, before the live started, I did ask Doug if he had flat surface on the top, because that's what I thought he was going to do.
There we go. And I thought about it. That would be yet another way to have a flat surface. It can be done. It works very well. Taking some pretty light cuts here for several reasons. One, I I don't want to tear it apart just yet.
And Frederick is asking, what ambitions and personal targets has Doug and Wayne got for 2025? And his is to make it to 2026. I think that's probably mine as well, tell you the truth, Fred.
That's a pretty good one. Just make it to the next year. I've got a couple of things going on this next year. One, my son is getting married. He leaves here in about 2 weeks, goes to basic training, and then we'll be home for about maybe a month. And they are planning to get married in July, late July. Um, we haven't got a hard date just yet.
So what's he joining, Doug?
He is joining the Kentucky State National Guard.
Nice.
But then he is in the he'll be in the band. He'll be in the State National Guard band. He's one of those weird kids. He'll have two jobs actually in the band. He'll be his primary job, at least to start, will be the main singer, and then he'll be learning all of the saxophone parts so that he can fill in when they have a saxophone vacancy.
Yeah, because I could have sworn he was a saxophonist.
He's quite the talented kid.
The military bands in the United States are really top-notch organizations too.
They really are.
It's
They really are.
It's not a given that you would be a great musician and be able to make one of those bands. That's quite the accomplishment.
It's interesting. They currently have a young lady who is the singer, and she wants to play her instrument, whatever that is, but she can't pass the audition process. So he's hoping that what they're going to do is help her to pass her audition so that she can move on and start playing her instrument, because she's not a very good singer. And this is a jazz band, so what he sings will be jazz. It's going to be really interesting.
It's strange that she can't pass the audition for an instrument, but
Right.
she got the singing, and the singing's not good. So how did she pass the audition for that?
Yeah, she passed that. Who knows? Who knows, Wayne? You're exactly right.
And Terry's having to go.
All
And
right,
he
Terry.
wishes all of us a happy 2025 and see us on the other side.
Same with you, Terry, and I hope you're continuing to recover.
Mike from Dancers has said, never thought it mattered if you could play for a jazz band. But yeah, there's different types of jazz, Mike. And obviously you've said that as a joke, and I get that.
Our experience, yes, I understand it as a joke too. Our experience with him in college band and jazz band and all that, it was only the best of the musicians who got to be in the jazz band. And so he was there in college as a freshman. He was first chair for the saxophone section, and they are singing the blues that he's not going to be there next year. All right, we're going to just drill through this top. Turn my speed back down. It's 500. Well, I think I'm through. Shouldn't have been that much to go through. Oh, not quite. Not quite.
You know, Mike from Dancers has said that a girl took him to Ronnie Scott's once, and let's say it was just not my cup of tea. Ronnie Scott's is a very famous jazz club in London.
Okay. Yeah, jazz is one of those things you either really like it or you just don't. I happen to like it. Of course, my grandfather played on vaudeville. He played saxophone on vaudeville and sang and danced. He was talking about a talented somebody. And that's where my son gets it. It's from my grandfather. All right. I'm going to clean that opening up just a hair. I got too high.
Now, like I said, because Copperell asked, like I said, Ronnie Scott's is a very famous jazz club, but they don't just do jazz there. They do different things as well. You have some very contemporary music on there. You have people come in and play the blues and everything. Jeff Beck did lots of stuff at Ronnie Scott's. If you don't know who Jeff Beck is, a very famous rock guitarist.
Top-notch guitarist.
Oh, definitely. He's just out there.
Yeah.
There we go. Keeping it at whatever that is, 650. Get a little sanding done here. I went through, there was what was left of the tenon and then another 1/4 of an inch. When I said I wasn't quite through a while ago, I barely wasn't through. So I'm not sure what I'll do. I'll look at it and think on it for a while, and I may throw this in Pete's fire.
And Dale has said that his nephew played sax as a fill-in for a professional jazz band when he was still in high school.
There you go. Christopher's high school jazz band, they went down. I'm up in northern Kentucky. Lexington is about 45 minutes south of me. His jazz band was invited to play with a professional jazz band. They are in Lexington. Um, and there was mention that if he could and wanted to, that they would put him on a standby to fill in. He didn't have time, nor did he really want to at the time. But since then, he plays in a professional band now, has all through college. So it's all pretty fun. I asked him the other day what he's planning on doing. He was going to be a teacher, but he's changed his mind now. He said he can't see himself in the classroom teaching snot-nosed kids music, which is a shame. I think he'd be a great teacher. But anyway, he is going to play. He's going to continue playing in local bands and that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, like the old adage goes, those who can do, those who can't teach.
Yeah, true.
And Mike is asking, is making one of these hollow forms with contrasting woods a thing? It could very well be, Mike.
Sure, yeah. Could be. I thought about that, doing part of this in walnut, but I thought, that's an awful sharp contrast, just for me with this particular piece. So I just grabbed 2 of the same kind of wood. It's 2 different pieces, obviously, but they are relatively close to looking the same. Give me a switch.
Lucy has said that Andy played sax and clarinet for the army for just over 20 years.
Okay.
Right, so he was a lazy sod then. Didn't want to do anything, so he played a musical instrument. I don't know.
You can see with this, even though they're the same wood, at the seam, this side's a little darker than this side is. It's even more so in person. My light's washing it out just a little bit. Of course, when I start to clean it up, put a little finish on it, you'll really see it, I think. Just make sure that little opening is sanded smooth. The opening is too small to stick a finger in, so you don't have to worry about how smooth did I get the inside.
And Mike has said that he played triangle in a reggae band in Ting.
Excellent.
And then he looked at the triangle, trying to figure out how to do a sphere from it with some piercing on the side.
Mm.
I just have one thing to add to all of this, and that's more cowbell.
There you go. There you go. I was watching what was it? I don't remember if it was a movie or what it was now. It might have been a video, and the whole thing needed more cowbell.
Yeah, there's the big Will Ferrell skit from Saturday Night Live with Blue Oyster Cult, right? Blue Oyster Cult.
Just a little alcohol to clean it off, and you can see some of that color difference between the two pieces of wood. Even though they're similar, they're out of the same log. Just slight variations, but that's normal. That is a normal kind of thing. Well,
So Fred said that he turned a full-sized Heineken beer bottle today, airbrushed green and hollowed out for dried flowers. He'll attach the labels tomorrow. It's just something different. Yeah, it is. But I've got to ask Fred, was that the big 1 litre bottle or was it a 0.3 bottle?
a little bit of conversation starter.
What were you spraying just then, Doug?
Conversation starter. Sanding
Sanding
sealer.
sealer.
Lacquer sanding sealer. And that's just to seal the wood up. And then we'll come back with some abrasive paste. Where we're at, right at the hour, aren't we? Should be close to dry anyway. Oh, that seam cleaned up a lot better than I thought it would.
Now, try and guess what Enchanted Wood Designs has said.
Uh-oh.
He has said, burn 3 lines at the center to hide the line. What were we talking about before we went live?
Yeah, beading. Doing anything to camouflage that seam. Yeah. Yeah. And cutting 2 more lines, burning all 3 would be a perfect way of doing that.
Yeah. Rather than trying to hide where the join is, what Enchanted Wood Designs is talking about here is rather than trying to hide it, you actually highlight it. And sometimes when you highlight it, that actually hides where the join is.
While we're thinking about it. I've got to take my tool rest apart and clean it. Got to. Let's see. Not that one. It's that one.
And Rob said, when can I ID a beer from 40 paces. I bet. It's just practice, Rob. That's all it is.
Yeah, we'll leave it like that for now anyway. Like Wayne said, it's practice. It's practice. Get rid of that. That's in my way. I should have slowed the lathe back down for the abrasive pace, but we've already
It'll
run
still
over the
work.
hour, so
It'll still work.
it'll still work. You're exactly right. We're talking about starting lives and getting going. Who was that, Wayne, that was talking about they're going to try to get started this year?
Frederick.
Frederick, okay. One of the things, well, you learn a lot of things when you get started doing lives. One of them is that everything doesn't have to be a showpiece when you get done.
No,
You can,
exactly
yeah,
right.
you can get done and say, ah, that one's going in the trash. Or as Pete does, he puts them in the fire.
Yeah,
He waits until
a,
he's got 3 or 4 and then does a video on burning them.
a lot of the time, for those of us who've done lives for quite a few years, it is a mixture of instruction and humor.
Yes.
You know, it's getting people in the chat involved. It's because it's not actually a demo when you're doing lives. Doing demos like an IRD, doing an IRD is totally different from doing a live for your friends in the chat.
Yeah.
It's totally different.
Now, we do try to do it so that it's not only entertaining, but there is something to learn. I hope folks have seen today that there's more than one way to do a hollow form. Last week we used the hollowing tools and dug out from a relatively small hole. In fact, my hole was 3/4 of an inch is all. This one has got, what size is that bit? There it is. Can measure it here. Tell you, I get the dust off the calipers.
Yeah, while you're doing that, Rob from Copper Owls has said that the burn lines worked. Yeah, they
Yeah,
definitely did.
absolutely. This is yeah, quarter or about 5/8 is what this is, what the hole is here. Definitely too small for a hollowing tool.
And where's he at? Al said that he thinks the wood is really pretty.
Well, thank you, Al. For something I found on a Sunday afternoon drive in a burn pile that I just picked up, then let it sit outside for, I don't know, a month or so, and then I brought it inside, and it sat in the back of my shop now for 6 months or better, till I finally cut it up into small pieces, and then cut the small pieces in half. And they're just sitting over in the corner now, over here by my dust collector. And when I want to do something that as a practice piece, that's one of the first things I look at to pick up. I did look at some pine to do that, and I thought, no, we can use something better than pine. So I grabbed this.
And Frederick has said, I've always said that demos have to be entertaining and informative as well. I have
Yeah.
done some demos, and I think it's hard to do both at the same time. You will find, Frederick, that if you watch people who demo every week, who do live demos every week, they can be entertaining, very informative, and make for a really good day or a really good evening of live demos. But it's still different for me. It's still different to me doing a live. To me, doing a live, it's all about fun in the chat and me basically turning something in the background.
There, that'll help. I get my microphone down so I'm not. There we go. Wanted to see what the size was. We come up right at 4 inches wide, and including the top lip, it's 4 by 4. So that's an interesting little piece.
Right,
Like
Mike's
I said,
asking, how are you going to hold it to turn the tenon off?
I'll make a piece. Let me change cameras again, and I can show you a little easier. That's not a bad question. What I'll do is I'll put a piece in here in my chuck, and I'll turn it down so that it just fits into that. And then I'll bring my tailstock up and I'll pinch it in here like so. And I'll use the Phil Anderson method. I'll just whittle it down slowly but surely, and I'll even break the tenon off, the little nub off, while it's still on here, and it works quite well. I do it every week. Honestly, I really do. It's pretty easy. So anyway, there we go. There we go.
Excellent, Doug.
For
Zed's
garbage wood, it's not bad looking. Not bad
it's
looking at
very
all.
nice, to tell you the truth.
Uglier the better.
And to tell you the truth, that grain does line up pretty much.
Yeah, it really
It's
does.
not bad. It's not bad.
The
It's
way
actually opposite of each other.
and the way you put those burn marks in there, you can see that grain go across that gap between the marks, which gives it the illusion of extending all the way into the other half.
Right. And that's what we're talking about. You put those in there and it kind of camouflages, whether you do it just with burn lines or a couple of little beads. You can chamfer is the word we were looking for, Wayne, a while ago. If we chamfered the edges, left them a little thicker and chamfered them, that would work as well. Celebrate it instead of trying to hide it. Whatever it takes. But as you can see, a tiny little hole. You cannot stick a finger in there. There's no way. Ouch. That hurt. Hit my elbow on the chuck. But anyway, there it is. And that is hollow. It's less than 1/4 of an inch top to bottom. So I'm pretty tickled with that. It worked out really nice. Because it does have some issues. This is as far as it will go. But you use some nice wood, you finish it up, you take the tenon off, and that'll be a nice piece. People say, how in the world did you hollow that?
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to point out the seam.
Some nice comments coming through, Doug. Zed's put his link in again. And
Excellent.
Mike, you from Ilminster. I didn't see him come in earlier.
Hey, Mike.
He's certainly here now.
Thank you, Tom, Lucy, Zed, Brian. I see all those names. And I typically will go back through as far as it'll let me go back in the chat. I'll go back and read through those. I may not study them, but I'll read through them just to see what the folks said. And every once in a while, somebody comes up with a good question that I think I need to go back and.
Now, Roger has said, hollow from the bottom next.
That was the plan.
Right.
That was the plan.
If you're going to hollow from the bottom, are you going to use a cone?
Yeah. Or at least an abbreviated cone anyway.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, I will actually take the bottom of the piece out, hollow it, put that piece back in is what I'll do.
Lucy
You
has
can-
said now she's just been given chocolate orange trifle.
Good for you, Lucy. Good for you. And have you put? Well, no, you haven't put the kids to bed yet, so you might have to share.
Oh God, giving them chocolate at this time of night.
Oh me. Well, it's been a fun time. I hope you all have had a good time. You've enjoyed yourself. Also, maybe even pick something up. Um, you know, like Wayne was saying, we're not trying to educate you on all the details of turning, but to have a good time. And if you pick something up here and there, that's bonus. That's bonus. So hope you've picked something up and that you see that there's more than one way already to hollow a piece out. Anything else you need to say, Wayne?
I would just like to wish everyone a happy new year. I hope you have the best for 2025 and a good night at the same time.
All right. Todd, anything you need to say tonight?
Can't say it better than that. I hope your 25 is better than your 24.
All right. I can't help but think 25's got to be better. 25's not been bad, but 24 has not been bad. 25 has got to be better. So, any of you guys who are thinking about starting a live or starting doing even videos, feel free to contact us. Any of us will be able to or be happy to help you out. Anybody most anybody that does lives and videos for that matter is usually happy to help new folks out. So feel free to get in touch with me or Wayne, Todd, any of the others, and we'll be glad to help you out any way we can. If we can't, maybe we can point you to somebody who can. All right. So until next week, I hope everybody has a great week, and don't party too hard tonight. I'd hate to have to get a call saying I need bail money.
You'll not be getting that from me, Doug. That's definite.
You're gonna stay home and drink, right?
Yeah.
Good for you. All right, folks.
If
Good night.
tell you, if I'm needing bail money, it's to get into the bedroom.
Oh, Wayne, be nicer to Jane than that. All right. With that, we're going to say good night. And unless something catastrophic happens, we'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
Night, night, everyone.